in today's creativity flow, we are going to take up space. So I feel like writers or creatives in general can sometimes feel a little small, a little insecure, a little unsure of who they are and their place in this world. So today we are going to let go of those insecurities, or at least try to work toward that and take up some space. So we are going to start in mountain pose, a strong pose, a secure, confident pose, pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. I'm going to start facing you. You can start at the top of your mat. We are going to be standing and on our feet this whole pose. So if you don't have a mat, don't worry about it. Just make sure you're on a stable surface, even surface. And coming into mountain pose, pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Bring the belly button up and back toward the spine. Hands can come to the sides, palms open or fingers spread, palms facing the front of your space, shoulders down away from the ears, pulling the shoulder blades together, opening through the heart, really shining your heart forward, pulling the shoulder blades down and back away from the ears rather than kind of the hunch that we can sometimes find ourselves in throughout the day, especially if we feel a little insecure. That can be a common pose, pulling the shoulders forward to guard the heart and our feelings. So right now you are in a safe space, so really open up through those shoulders, open through the heart. Don't be afraid to expose your heart, let it shine forward. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And don't be afraid on that exhale to really make some noise, to really let it out. Inhale, feeling the chest expand, the whole body take up a little bit more space. And on the exhale, just let it go, maybe even letting the tongue fall out of the mouth. For a little lion pose, lion's breath. Do that one more time, in through the nose, expanding, and exhale it out. And we're just going to start to invite some movement into the body. So we'll reach up overhead, but we want to really open those arms. So again, we're taking up space. I'm going to keep repeating that phrase probably throughout this flow. I know you can't see my hands, they kind of get cut off in the video, but we're going to pretend that we're holding a big beach ball. Like I've said this in other flows before, but really just a giant ball this time. So our arms are pretty far apart, as opposed to a lot of the times we're kind of like this, but we're really going to leave them open. We're going to inhale, reaching through those fingertips, reaching up, and then exhale, reach toward the right side of the mat. I don't know if you heard that. My Alexa was just reminding me to do something. Still is. And inhale back to center. She's got the worst timing. And exhale, releasing to the left side of the mat, pressing that right foot into the mat to invite a counter weight and then a stretch to the right side of the body. And then inhale back to center, and then we're just going to start to sway. So exhale to the right, inhale back to center, exhale to the left. Really let those arms just kind of do whatever they want. Exhale. We're not even pausing in the middle, really. We're just breathing and continuing the motion to the other side, like a tree kind of swaying in the wind. Those trees don't have any insecurities around how much space they take up, where their branches go when they blow, right? So kind of inviting that mentality as we kind of start to move the body. And a few more here, wherever you are. Maybe finish out your round. And come back to center. Maybe even reaching the arms up, like making a V. Maybe looking up. And exhale. Coming back into that mountain pose. I'm gonna move to the top of my mat. So we can start to work through. We're gonna start with half sun salutation. So we're going to inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, forward fold, leading with the chin and the chest to avoid that hunch, to avoid closing off the heart, keeping the shoulders back, folding forward, lifting the tailbone up toward the sky to invite a nice stretch to the back of the legs. You can keep the knees as bent as you need for these first few here. And then inhale, half flat back, gazing beyond the top of the mat. Hands can either be on the shins or the thighs. And exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, maybe bend down to come up, reaching for the sky, straining through the waist, gazing at the fingertips. And exhale, bring the hands down through center, back to mountain, but then we're going to inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, back down to mountain. Keep it going. This time we're going to add on. So we'll inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. And on the exhale, we're going to drop the hands to the mat, stepping that right foot back and then the left to come into a nice strong plank for just a moment. Inhaling at the top and exhale, drop the belly to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest and the chin away from the mat, pulling the shoulders away from the ears to baby cobra. Exhale, release, inhale, and on the exhale, pushing up through either plank, or you can come into tabletop for just a moment and then all the way back into downward dog. You can keep the knees bent here as much as you need, lifting the tailbone up, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, pressing the heels toward the mat, though they don't have to touch and they probably won't. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to plant that left foot, left heel toward the mat, pressing it even more into the mat, lifting that right leg up and back into three-legged dog, keeping those hips even, shoulders as even as you can. And on an exhale, bringing the right knee toward the chest, up, that right foot up between the hands. If you need to give it a little space to do that, go for it. And we're just going to drop that left foot down to the mat. You'll have to probably bring it up a little bit. Coming into warrior one, so that left foot is pointed, left toes pointed toward the left corner of the mat. Inhaling the chest away from the leg. Coming up into warrior one, right knee over right ankle. And keeping the hip points pointed toward the front of that mat. We'll inhale, again taking up space. And even in these poses, rather than the arms kind of just face you for a second, arms kind of like they normally are, straight up, kind of close to the ears, maybe even just keeping a little space there, taking up a little more space than you normally would in these poses, and being okay with that. So we'll inhale here, reaching up through the fingertips. And exhale, we'll open up into warrior two, strong, fierce pose. Lifting the right hip up, left hip in, keeping that left knee slightly bent, gazing out over the right hand, right knee over right ankle. Inhale and exhale. Embracing however this pose makes you feel. If it makes you feel strong, really holding on to that, reaching through the fingertips to either side. So you're trying to reach as far forward and as far back as you can, but keeping that head over heart and the heart over the pelvis. And then one more inhale and an exhale. We'll go ahead and turn. You can straighten through that front leg. Turn those toes toward the front of the mat. So now both toes, sets of toes are pointing to the long side of the mat. We're gonna come into a starfish pose. So we're gonna inhale to reach the arms up, kind of like we were at the beginning of the practice in that nice V. This time you can keep the hands open and spread the fingers, spread as far apart as you can. Pushing into the right edges of the feet, or the outside edges of the feet. Pushing up through, away from the mat, pushing into the toes, pulling the belly button back toward the spine to really invite strength through the center of the body. We're just making the shape of a starfish here, but we're reaching out through the fingertips, energetically sending out energy through the legs, through the feet, into the mat, pushing away from the mat, taking up as much space as you want or need, and breathing in through the nose. And maybe here you let it out through the mouth with a big sigh, letting the tongue hang out. And inhale one more time. And exhale. And then from here, we're gonna point the toes out slightly at an angle. We're gonna come into a goddess pose. So bending the knees so they track toward the toes. And let the hands fall down through center. And then on an inhale, we'll reach up, straightening the legs, reaching up toward the sky, maybe crossing the arms over each other. And exhale, bend the legs back into our goddess, squatting, letting the arms come to center, maybe crossing in the middle. And inhale, reach up, straighten through the legs, exhale, release. Again, taking up space, more and more space, maybe with each inhale. And exhale, and obviously not going to be able to physically take up more space than you're able to, but mentally just reaching out through the entire room and beyond. Inhale, moving at your own pace. So if you're not matched up with me, that's okay. A few more. One more, so find where you are. Maybe an inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. And then come back to center. Straighten through the legs. Find the hands. Let the hands fall to the waist. We're just gonna make our way to the front. So we're gonna turn both sets of toes to the front of the mat. Kind of coming into a high lunge stance for just a second, just to get pointed toward the front of the mat. And then we're going to just step up with that left foot, bring it up to meet the right. Now we got to do that all on the other side. So we're gonna just keep it moving. We're gonna inhale and reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. And then on the exhale, we're gonna drop the hands to the mat, stepping that right foot back. And then the left, inhale at the top of a plank. Exhale, release everything to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest and the chin away from the mat, bring the elbows in toward the body. Exhale, release. Inhale to pause. And exhale, pushing up either through plank or tabletop into our downward dog. And we're just gonna take an inhale here through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Maybe lifting that tailbone up toward the sky. And then we're going to repeat our flow on the right side. So we're gonna drop that right heel toward the mat, lifting that left leg up and back into our three-legged dog, keeping those hips and shoulders even. Inhale and exhale, bring that left knee toward the chest, bringing the foot up between the hands. And inhaling up into our warrior one, bringing the right toes toward the right side of the mat. Right top or right corner of the mat. Left knee over left ankle. Hip points pointed forward. Hands on the waist while you kind of find your stability and stance here. Adjusting your feet. Keeping that right knee bent, not locked. And inhaling up toward the sky, bringing the hands up again, leaving a little space. Taking up space. We'll inhale and exhale. And then on the inhale, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, opening up into warrior two. So bringing the toes to face the long side of the mat. Left knee over left ankle. Left toes are still pointing to the front of the mat. Lifting the right hips, lifting the right hip, bringing the left hip in toward the body. Gazing out over that left hand. Embracing the strength of this pose and all that it represents. Maybe repeating to yourself, I am a creative warrior. Inhale. And exhale. And we're just gonna repeat our little taking up space on the other side. So my back is towards you, but we're just gonna do that all again. We're gonna bring the left toes to point toward the long side of the mat. We're gonna embrace our starfish pose. So inhaling, reaching the arms up and out, making a V. Opening the hands, stretching through the fingertips, pulling the belly button up toward the spine to really find strength in the center. And taking up space, pressing into the outer edges of the feet, keeping the knees bent, slightly bent, not locked. And just breathing here. You're taking an inhale and really sighing it out. And then we'll turn those toes, pointing out toward kind of the corners of the mat at an angle. We're gonna drop the booty toward the ground, almost coming into a chair-like pose, a squat here, into goddess pose, letting the hands drop to the center. Inhale, reach for the sky. Maybe let it straighten through the legs, letting the arms cross at the top. And exhale, dropping, bending at the knees. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, drop. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, drop, bending at the knees. One more time. Inhale, reach up and over. And exhale, drop. And then we'll let her straighten through the legs, let our hands come to the waist, turning the toes toward the front of the mat again, coming into crescent just briefly, high lunge, lifting that right knee up off the ground, up on the toes of our back foot, left knee over left ankle. Maybe feeling a nice stretch through that right hip. Heart is forward, chest is up. Inhale and exhale, bringing that right foot up to meet the left. Finding ourselves in mountain at the top of our mat. One more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. We'll bring our hands to heart center to end our practice today. We'll inhale. And on the exhale, I want you to just let go of the belief that you are small or that any insecurities you might have can stop you from achieving your creative goals. So just breathe it all out. Exhale, release it, let it go. And whenever you need a little reminder that it's okay to take up space in this world, come back to this flow and I will be happy to remind you. So thank you so much for practicing with me today, warriors. If you would like to take the energy and hopefully confidence you built during that flow, just grab a prompt from the end of this video and go create something awesome. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, warriors. Now go fight for your creativity.
Great flow, warriors. Now it's time to take that energy and create. If you still need a little extra inspiration, just grab a creativity prompt to get the ideas flowing. And if you have a friend who's also fighting writer's block, make sure to share this video and don't forget to subscribe. Now go fight for your creativity.